If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Christine McIver.
Here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you are ready for a dynamic show tonight. Who out there would love to have $1 million business? Wherever you're watching, I would love for you to type in hell yes in the comments, because a lot of people say they are, and I want to see who out there really wants to have $1 million business. I'm going to challenge you. I am going to kick your butt. This is going to be a hot show tonight. If you're ready to really move forward with your business, get ready. I've got some major tips that I'm going to be sharing tonight. And you know what? You actually have a responsibility to have $1 million business. You do. You have a responsibility. If you say that you want to change the world and you want to contribute to the world, then you have a responsibility to get as much money in your hands as possible. It really is very important that you understand this. I have done lots of other shows where I've talked about this responsibility, and it's key because we live in a world that is the monetary value of the world is money. If you don't have money, you cannot change this world. You can do a lot of kind things, absolutely. But if you don't have the cash, you are not going to be able to make the momentous changes that you desire to make. So it's very important that you get serious about making money and you get serious about actually having $1 million business. So my name is Christine McIver. I'm a business optimization coach. I am also the owner and CEO of Inspired Choices Network, where I take people who are the best kept secret and make them a global authority. I take your voice and I put it around the world. Wherever people go to listen to or interact with live radio, with podcasts, and even TV, we take care of all of that for you and we move you forward with your voice. Your voice is the key to money. Let me say that again. Your voice is the key to money. You need to be using your voice and you need to be voicing what you know in order for people to find you, listen to you, and hire you. Are you ready? Are you ready to actually step up and have your own back in business and make a change in the world? Well, if you're not, you can just click away. But if you are, if you're serious about changing the world and really becoming $1 million business owner, I want you to stick around. I want you to ask questions and I want you to really lean in and challenge yourself, because that is something that many people are not willing to do. More people would like to be comfortable than be rich. It's true. More people would rather be comfortable than be rich. And if you are willing to be uncomfortable, stick around. We're going to be talking all about what you need to be doing in order to really create that $1 million business. So do you know growing $1 million business is actually possible? Do you know that that's possible for you? $1 million businesses are not decided by your family standing. They're not. It's not your family that makes that decision. They're not decided by your connections or even by your ability to save money. Having $1 million business begins with your decision to choose it every single day. How to grow $1 million business is what we're talking about tonight. And I'm going to guide you and invite you into having $1 million business if you will choose it. Are you ready to choose to have $1 million business? Or would you rather it just come to you? So if you would rather $1 million business just drop into your lap, do you know what? You still have to do something. You either have to marry someone who has $1 million, or you have to steal the $1 million, or you have to buy lottery tickets again and again and again until you have the $1 million. Or you can create it. And that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about creating and growing $1 million business from the business that you already have. Yes, you could wait for your inheritance. That's true. Somebody's in the chat room. You can join us at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room, where you can interact with everyone in there. You can post your questions and your comments, and I will be able to respond to them. And one of the comments tonight is, or you can wait for your inheritance. It's true. You could wait for an inheritance and you might be dead by the time it shows up. Or you might be so frustrated or even broke that you have to spend all of that inheritance on paying back the bills that you weren't willing to pay, or earn the money to pay them back when you were waiting. Why wait? Do you know what? Growing $1 million business can be a lot of fun, but it does take commitment, and it takes a lot of other variables that I want to share with you tonight. So if you would like to connect with me, I would love for you to come on over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also connect with me on my website, inspiredchoices.ca, or you can send me an email, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. And I would love to answer your questions. I would love to be there to really challenge you that you can actually have $1 million business. Okay, let's get into tonight's show. So the very first question I want you to really look at, I really want you to ask yourself this question is, do you believe you are entitled to have $1 million business? Do you believe you're entitled to it? Most people will actually come back with, no, not really. Do you know why that is? Do you know why most people will say they don't believe they're entitled to it? Because they have a preconceived idea of what you have to be or do or give up in order to have $1 million business, or that you're not good enough. So very first thing that you need to do is you need to start doing your personal development work. You need to start looking at your belief system. You need to start looking at maybe trauma that you have had in the past. You need to really, really look at what you've been raised with, what you've surrounded yourself with, the beliefs that are coming out of your mouth and the people that are surrounding you. What are the beliefs that are coming out of their mouths as well as yours that are really getting in the way of you believing? Because you have to believe it first. It is not going to come to you if you do not believe it. What are the belief systems that are getting in the way of you actually believing that you deserve or are entitled to have $1 million business? Are you aware of some of the things that you're saying? Are you aware of some of the things that your family is saying? So just check in right now. And I want you to imagine you're saying to your best friend right now, I'm going to have $1 million business. What would they say back to you? What would they say back to you? Would they say, yeah, right. Nice try. Like when? How the hell are you going to do that? Are you going to rob a bank? Those are some of the responses, some of the everyday responses that we get when we tell people around us that we're going to have $1 million business. What about your parents? What if you said that to your parents? What would they say? Some parents might say, great, you can take care of me now. I've taken care of you for all these years. Some other parents might really, really go into doubt. And I'll tell you why a lot of parents go into doubt. Because when they see you, they see themselves. And if they haven't done that for themselves, they likely don't believe that you can do it for yourself. It's not a judgment against you. It's actually a reflection of what's going on inside of them. Karen says, how much money? Why do you need that much money? That's what one of the people would say to Karen. Oh, that's amazing. Why do you need that much money? I will give you a million reasons why you need that much money. And there's a million people hungry out there. There's a million people out there that need things to change, that need people to guide us, that need people to set up programs to really be a part of the leadership in this world to change what's not working. There's a million reasons to become a millionaire. Absolutely. And then she says, my dad, you don't know enough about money or business to achieve that. Wow. I wonder how much of that is really a judgment against you, or how much of that is an awareness that you need to up your knowledge base. I'm guessing that the way he said that to you was a judgment against you. But the other part of it is true in that we need to have more knowledge. And most people are not willing to actually have that much knowledge or do enough of a dig in order to become a millionaire. And when I say dig into really learning about what it takes to be a millionaire. Now, what it takes to be a millionaire does not mean that you have to work 24/7. It doesn't. But it also doesn't mean that you sit on your, laurels and and just sit there and say, I desire to have $1 million and expect it to just show up in your bank account. That is not the way the laws of the universe work. You have to believe is number one. You must believe that this is available to you and you have the ability to create this in your life. You have to believe that. You may not know the how. That doesn't matter in these 10 seconds, but you have to believe it. That is the most utmost thing. If you don't believe it, all of the things that you are doing, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your energy because you're saying one thing, but what's actually in your programming in your mind and in your heart is that it's not true. So you are the one that are self-sabotaging yourself. If you believe that you are both entitled to have $1 million business and can have $1 million business, you can make it happen. Now, the other thing is that you have got to be willing to do what it takes to have $1 million business. And that's what I really want to focus on right now in this first segment. So again, if you're just joining, welcome, welcome, welcome. I've got a lot of things I want to share with you tonight, and I'm going to challenge you. I'm really going to challenge you to look at yourself from the perspective of, you want more money. Are you willing to really lean in and look at it and get serious about it? Most people are more comfortable doing less than actually doing what it takes to have $1 million business. That's not me. And I hope that from the majority of my listeners, that's not you either, that you're willing to learn and lean into this. All right. So the first question that I want to ask you, and it's going to seem like an odd question, but this is an important one. Tell me, and wherever you are, put this in the chat. What do you really dislike that you have to do in business? What part of business, if you're in your own business right now, what part of what you do in your business do you dislike the most? Type that in the chat room. I really want to hear it. This is a really big question because this is what we really start to see another block. So we've got the blocks of belief, and then we've got the blocks of dislike. We have got to conquer both of them. All right. We've got in the chat room, someone has put in accounting. Okay. That is actually not surprising. Most people will say accounting is one of them. Oh, and we've got cold calling. Okay. So let's talk about accounting first of all. If you are not, and wait a minute, we got another one. I just like emails and setting up funnels. Okay. So let's talk about accounting. If you, and this is, you're going to laugh when you hear this, but if you desire to have $1 million business and you dislike accounting, how in God's name are you ever going to connect the two? How are you going to connect the two? Whatever you dislike in business, you need to get extremely knowledgeable with it. You don't have to like it, but you've got to get extremely knowledgeable with it, because the things that you dislike, you are going to try to ignore. The things that you dislike, you're going to try to push off and push off and push off. Most people, what they do with their accounting is they leave it till the very, very last day before they have to file their taxes. And I mean their monthly accounting. I do my accounting every single week. Every single week, I receive all of my invoices. I'll say 99% of my invoices via email. And every day I save them as a PDF. I put them into my accounting folder, and then I move everything in, all those emails, I move it into a box called receipts. I sort immediately. Now I have a bookkeeper and an accountant, so I will take all of those receipts and I will move them into those folders for bookkeeping. Okay. I do this every single time. Now, just because I'm doing that, that's not enough. I also need to be aware of where the money is going. And so every single day, I am checking my finances. I am checking every single one of my bank accounts, whether they are business bank accounts or their personal bank accounts. Check your PayPal, check your Stripes, check your Square. Wherever the money is coming into, make sure when it's coming in there, when somebody's paid you through that platform, go and check and see when it's dropped into your Dropbox. Everything online has errors. You need to know when the money is coming in, where the money is coming in from, and when it's going into your bank account. You need to be aware of this every single solitary day. If you're not aware of it, this is where you can lose control of your money. And the last thing you want to do is be disconnected from your money. So this started with accounting. Accounting, when you're not aware of your books every single solitary week and every month, when you get to the end of the year, you're not going to be able to change things. You're not going to be able to say, oh, right, I didn't put enough money away for taxes, or I undercharged someone, or I didn't receive that money, or I didn't pay this on time, or there's all sorts of things that you need to be conscious of with your accounting as you're going along. Get a system. Get a great system going to support you, to make it easy. And I'm telling you, the reason that most people don't like accounting is because they don't have a simple system. Because when you have a simple system, the universe is actually willing to give you more money. The universe is actually willing to give you more money. And when you have more money, that's when you're going to become $1 million business owner. All right. We've got so much more to share with you tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. You're listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network, and we will be right back after this break. We'll see you then.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Oh man, I love this show. I have so much fun talking about money. And I want you to know this, that everything that I share, I have learned from doing myself. Every single solitary thing that I talk about, that I share, that I coach on, I have been there. I am not reading from a script, as somebody in TikTok said. I am not following other gurus and just parroting exactly what they said. I am seriously moving through and learning and growing. And over the last 15 years of growing my business, I've learned a great deal, and I'm proud to bring it to the airwaves. And I absolutely feel a conviction to do so, because I know that more people can learn and grow from what I've learned and grown. grown around. So yes, I've taken classes. Yes, I've educated myself. Yes, I read business books all the time. Yes, I've had coaches, and so should you. And one of the things that I do is I work with individuals so that they can move forward faster. If you want to move forward faster, educate yourself every single solitary day and absolutely get a business coach. Get a business coach who will champion you and challenge you every single day. Do not hire a coach that wants to be your best friend. They might be your best friend when they're coaching you. They better challenge you and they better champion you. You are hiring a coach so that you can grow and move forward. They need to be powerful and they need to be potent, right? It's extremely important that you hire someone who's willing to challenge you and willing to champion you at the same time. We all need support, absolutely, but we all need to be challenged. If you didn't need to be challenged, don't hire a coach. So that's one of the most important things, is to get a business coach. Abso-friggin-lutely. The other thing is I want you to also get a personal development coach. Get a personal development coach. Clean up your house. Clean up every area of your life, because I'm telling you, if you are out of balance in one area of your life, it is absolutely going to bleed over into your business. I have seen entrepreneurs at many, many financial levels that have actually really undercut their own success because they did not get their personal house in order. I'm talking about how they see themselves, how they judge themselves, how they judge their body, how they interact with their family members, how they interact with their spouses, their children, their friends, how they challenge themselves. If you're not in a coaching relationship where someone is looking at all of those areas where you need to continually develop, you're going to have it affect your business 100%. You are not just a business, in and of itself in your brain. You're not just that. You are an all-encompassing. You have all areas of your life that are being that are dancing and being created simultaneously. These energies are going to be everywhere. So if you are, frustrated in one area of your life, that frustration energy is going to seep into your business. If you put all your energy into business, those other areas are going to get out of balance. So I am saying that, business may be a huge priority for you right now, which it is for me, but that doesn't mean that you allow those other areas to be negatively affected, because they will seep into your business. Are you willing to be challenged? And are you willing to look at and be vulnerable with every area of your life? Are you willing to be? If you're not willing to be, I want you to know you're putting blinders on to the truth of what you are actually marinating in every single day. And even if you don't want to look at an issue that is going on in any area of your life, that energy is present in every area of your life. Pay attention to this. Pay attention to what you are actually willing to do and not willing to do, and get ready to challenge yourself. I think that's one of the biggest things that I have done over the years, is I have challenged myself. I have challenged myself in every area of my life, because I desire to grow my life into a bigger adventure and more joy and pleasure than I've ever had. And I desire, and I desire to grow my business into $1 million business. And that requires looking at every area of my life. I'm well aware of that. And I actually work with 2 to 3 coaches continuously. Working with a coach is one of the best investments you're ever going to make, but you've got to make sure that that coach is really going to challenge you. It's so, so important. So coming back to some of the steps, one of the questions that I want to ask you is, whose dream are you following for your business? Whose dream are you following? Is the dream in your business, is that your dream, or is that someone else's dream? And are you modifying your dream to suit other people's opinions? Are you modifying your dream to suit other people's points of view? I want you to know that whatever I say or whatever anyone else says out there about what they believe will create greater for you, you have to check in and ask yourself if that is true for you. If that does not resonate for you, if that feels really, really off, then you have to pay attention to that and you have to choose something different. It's kind of like, come to the table and hear everything that's going on and then take away what works for you. But if you are willing to really be challenged, I want you to look at this. I want you to look at that goes against my belief system is one, or that makes me really uncomfortable. And I don't mean uncomfortable because it goes against your belief system. I mean, it makes you uncomfortable because it's stretching you. If it's going against your belief system at your core, it is really going against your belief system, then leave it. Don't choose it, but don't throw away everything else. But if it is making you uncomfortable, I am telling you 100%, that is something that you absolutely need to lean into. Who's here right now that needs to hear this? Who knows that they are uncomfortable and they've been avoiding something, which will be the very key to moving their business forward? Who is out there that knows absolutely 100%, I've been trying to ignore this thing and I can't ignore it anymore? There are things in every person's life and in every business owner's life that they know they've got to improve. And they've been trying to ignore it. They've been trying to avoid it. One of those things is actually showing up on video. That's a really big thing that a lot of people have been looking at over the last couple of years, most certainly. From the beginning of time, speaking in public is a big one that people need to get over, but actually going on video is a really, really big thing. And I remember the very first time that I went on video, that I had my very first TV show. I remember that I was shaking, and most especially shaking inside, and I practically couldn't see anything because the nerves were getting so high up. And while I was nervous, I was also of the mindset that I'm going to have this no matter what. I'm going to do what it takes to get over this. And the only way that you get over something is by doing it again and again and learning from it. If you have your own radio show, your own podcast, your own TV show, I'm going to challenge you to go listen to yourself. Go watch yourself. I often think about football players, right? Football players have everything videotaped, and then they roll back the reel and they watch it and they learn what steps they took and what steps worked and what steps didn't. You as a business owner need to have your own reel as well. If you are doing Facebook Lives, if you are doing any kind of video or audio production, which in this day and age with business, you more than likely are. Maybe you're putting on webinars and recording them. Whatever it is, roll it back and watch it and learn from yourself so you can grow. This is critical, because if you don't look at yourself, you're not going to know where your gaps are. This is not about judging that you are not good. That's not what this is about. It's learning, okay, I could have done this differently. I could have done that differently, and learning from that. So we talked about following your dream. We talked about getting a business coach and a personal development coach. The next one is so important. I'm not even kidding you. This is one of the most important things. And I actually have a strategic business package that I work with business owners. And I'm going to kind of lean into some of the things that I do there. But this is one of the very first things that are critical in becoming $1 million business and growing $1 million business. You have to get organized. There is no excuse for being disorganized. Absolutely not. I don't care what it is. If you've got a pile of receipts, book a day with yourself, turn off the computer, turn off your phone, lock the door, and get to it. Stop being disorganized. You are self-sabotaging when you're disorganized. If your links don't work in your website, get the fixed. If you do go, how many times have you gone out and looked at all of your profiles on all of your sites and read them, read what your bio said and check the links? Read and check, read and check, read and check. This is critical. There are so many people that are disorganized because you've changed it in one place, but you haven't changed it anywhere else. And then you wonder why people aren't reaching out to you. Well, people can't even get a hold of you because your links don't work, that you're not interesting to them because you haven't updated your bio in the new things that you're doing. This is critical. Get organized. Do you have a list? Do you write down your list of things that you're going to do? Do you have a book where you're keeping a list, or is your entire office just covered in piles of paper and Post-it notes? Which is it? Be honest with yourself. If you're not organized, and I want you to imagine this, if you were a factory and you weren't organized, what would happen? What would happen? There would be accidents. People would get hurt. Well, guess what? You're going to get hurt because you're missing out on opportunities because you're scattered. You don't know where you're at. You don't have a plan. When you are organized, you have a plan, and all of the places where you have set this great foundation on these websites, in these social media sites, in all the locations where you have the correct bio, you have the correct links, all of those places are going to support you. So they either are places where you've got dead information, or they're supporting you on your path. When you're organized, you know, okay, I've made a change here. I got to go to all of these other places and make a change. One of the best things that you can do, you can't do this with your bios, so those bios have to be updated. But one of the best things you can do is you can have a link tree, or like myself, I have a link tree page on my website, and I use that specific URL in all of the locations and all of my profile pages, so that people, when they click there, they're going to get the most current, and that's the one place only that I have to update. Okay, but you still have to update your bio. And when was the last time you read your bio? Do you ever read your bio? Have you had somebody else read your bio? That is part of getting organized. Getting organized is such a huge key, and getting organized includes a booking link. It includes a way to take money. It includes putting your services out there with their prices. It includes having your website current. Getting organized means that things can flow seamlessly without you being crazy in email land. Oh, and speaking of email, are you guys ready? If you have more than 100 emails, no, I'm even going to say 50. If you have more than 50 emails in your inbox, you're disorganized. And you are not going to make as much money as you could be making. You're going to be missing opportunities. You're going to break relationships because you are not communicating consistently and in a timely manner with prospects. You are going to miss out on such important information. And guess what you're going to start doing? You're going to start avoiding your emails. And when you avoid your emails, guess what? You're going to be playing a game with yourself. And it's called, let's see how quickly we can get broke. It's not the game that somebody who wants to grow $1 million business chooses. You need to be efficient. Get your email in order. If you don't know how to do that, you reach out to me. I'm going to give you 15 minutes of my time. I'm going to show you how to get your emails down to 50 emails maximum every single solitary day. This is critical. Get organized, people. All right, we have blew past the second commercial. Oh my God, I'm on fire. Okay, everybody, we got to go to our email, or you got to go to our commercial. Got to pay some bills. You're listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. Tonight, we're talking about how to grow $1 million business. Stay tuned. I got a lot more for you. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Oh my gosh. How many of you out there really do desire to have $1 million business? Do you really desire it? You know, having $1 million business is not for the faint of heart. It's not. And it's for people that are really willing to dig deep. And it's available to every single solitary person. I was talking with my daughter this week, and we were talking about when she had been in business, and we were talking about, the other opportunities. And from her point of view, she felt like it was really hard to start your own business now because there's so many businesses already established. And I understand that point of view, but I challenge that point of view because we live in a world today where if you have a computer, you have the opportunity to start a business with little to no capital at all. Where when my parents started a business, they had to get a loan, they had to get an investment in order to purchase any equipment, any location where they would set up. There's just so many different things that today we have such a great advantage. Every single solitary person, this is my personal opinion, should be in their own business. When you are in your own business, you can write off so many different things. You can write off portions of your expenses. That brings your tax bracket down. And also, when you're in your own business, you get to get creative. And when you're creative, those creative juices start to really flow for you, and they bring you more of the things that you desire. And when you have more of the things that you desire, money is going to follow, because money follows joy. It's part of the law of the universe that when you are in happiness, more prosperity comes to you. Okay, so we got to get serious about this, and we got to really look at all of these areas where we need to get really super organized. All right, the next thing I want to ask you is, do you believe in your message? Whatever it is, do you believe in your message, or do you believe in your product? If you are in a product business or a service business, do you believe in what you are doing? Now, whether you have a product or a service, you have a message. You have a message around why that is something that people should say yes to, they should purchase, or why they should hire you. You have got to be the number one cheerleader for your own body of work. And I'm not talking about your ego coming forward. I'm talking about you believing so heartedly, in deep in your heart, that what you do makes a difference in the world. And it doesn't have to be a message that is, you're going to feed 1 million children. It doesn't need to be that. It can be that this is the most beautiful, I'm holding up a glass bottle, that this is the most beautiful, convenient, reusable bottle that is attractive and easy for the height, the quantity that it holds, the way that you're able to easily carry it, how the cork on it is easy and hygienic, whatever it is that you believe in it. If you don't believe in your product or service, why would anyone else? So if you're in a business that you don't believe in, I'm going to challenge you to find out what it is that you do believe in and what it is that really lights you up. The next thing I want to ask you is, do you consider yourself an expert? Do you consider yourself an expert? Now, I'm not talking about an expert as in I know every single solitary thing. but what it is that you do, have you become so proficient in it that you are an expert in that area? Are you an expert? You've got to become an expert. You've got to believe in your message, whatever it is, the product or the service, and you've got to become an expert in that area. So that means you need to educate yourself. You need to practice, 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 whatever it is. You have got to keep growing you in order to grow $1 million business. You're the key. You are the key in your business. You've got to keep growing you in order to grow $1 million business. So you've got to become an expert in whatever it is that you do in your business, or whatever it is that you create. You know, one of the platforms that I love TikTok. And one of the reasons I love it so much is because I get to see people being so amazingly creative in their craft. And I have watched experts create some of the most fascinating things because of TikTok. I absolutely love it. I mean, there's other platforms, yes, but TikTok has such an array of creative people. It's fantastic. You don't have to, be creative with wood or with glass or with anything else. You can be creative with your heart. You can be creative with the way that you take care of people. Maybe you're a healer. Maybe you're an expert on a computer program. Become the expert in whatever lights you up, and then watch what starts to change. Watch what starts to really light up your world. When you are on fire, you're going to be noticed. You're going to be seen, and you're going to be heard. People are going to want to see and understand what's going on with this person. They're really happy and they're excited. I don't know if you can tell, but when I have my shows, I'm excited. I am happy. I love what I do. I have shitty days. I have frustrating days. I have overwhelmed days. I have days I want to run away, but I love what I do. And I'm going to continue to lean in and challenge myself to become better at what I do. So the key here is that you need to be seen, you need to be found, and you need to be heard. And you're only going to want to show up when you are lit up with what you do and what you bring to the world. And how are you going to get lit up? You're going to become an expert at what you're doing. You're going to become so proficient that it is like a dance that you do with yourself every single day in your business. It's such a pleasure. When you are happy with what you do, it's a pleasure to create. All right. We are getting down to this show. Oh my God, I got to keep going. You got me all fired up. Somebody says, excellent. I love it. Who else wants to be fired up? Who else is ready to change their reality and become a $1 million business owner and change the world? Not only your world, but the world around you. I am, and I hope you are too. All right, this next one is a big one. I want you to really listen to this. You've got to network with the right people. Now, I'm not talking about just in a networking group. I am talking about the people, the third-party providers that you hire. I am talking about the team that you hire. I am talking about the friends you hang out with on the weekend. I'm talking about the family members that you allow into your world every single solitary day. If those people are bringing you down at all, if those people are playing the pity game all the time, if they're constantly pulling on you and expecting you to take care of them, asking you for money left, right, and center, and they do not have the mindset that they are living from their heart and they want to change the world, you need to get them out of your world. Now, I am not saying you have to disown them, but I am saying you need to check them at the door when you are doing business. Abso-friggin-lutely. You need to choose different team members to work with. You need to be connecting with people on a regular basis who are going to challenge you and champion you. Absolutely. You can never be the smartest person in the room. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are not going to grow. I'm telling you, it's extremely important that you are continuously being challenged and being willing to reach down inside of yourself and pull up that determination. You can have it all. But the biggest part about growing $1 million business is growing yourself and being willing to continuously feed yourself with the information that is going to have you continue to choose forward, believe in yourself, and grow yourself. Now, the big thing is here is that you may or may not believe in who you are. But when you surround yourself with people who believe in themselves, that's going to start to wear off on you. You're going to start to absorb that type of energy. When you are around people that have a victim mindset, that have a, oh, the world's not fair mindset, that's also going to wear on you. And this is where you need to pay attention. Listen to what they are saying. Look at what they are choosing in their world. If they're not choosing to challenge themselves, then I bet you 10 to 1 they're going to be draining on you. So you've got to be willing to challenge yourself. We're up for our last break of the show. This has gone way, way too quick. I still have so much more to challenge you with, so much more to share with you. I want to see who's been listening that is ready to say, hell yes, I am going to have, and I'm going to declare, at least to myself today, I am going to have $1 million business. Put it in the chat wherever you are. If you're listening to the replay, put hashtag replay and declare that you are going to have $1 million business. It's easier than you think. It's much more fun to be in a human body when you have money. And if you want to change the world because your heart is aching for it, you have got to become $1 million business owner. All right. You're listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver. Stick around. We'll be right back here on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
How many of you out there have heard the saying, put your money where your mouth is? How many of you have said that? Put your money where your mouth is. I don't want to hear from anybody out there that is not doing whatever it takes to become $1 million business owner and is complaining about the world, is complaining that the world is not right and things need to change. Stop putting the change that needs to change on everybody else. Take up your space and take up your responsibility. As I said before, you have a responsibility to become wealthy. Wealthy beyond where you are today, 10 times probably beyond where you are today, so that you can change the world in the way that you know it will contribute greater to other people now and in the future. Stop expecting, stop protesting, stop complaining, and get the lead out and make it happen. You have the ability and you have the responsibility to show the blank up. And I mean that seriously. Stop complaining. I'm so tired of hearing people complaining. I'm not talking about complaining about people being treated cruelly. I'm talking about people complaining that they don't have enough, or that, the government needs to change, or this or that. You know what? Okay, make your statements, but then get the let out and make the money yourself and change the world. It is critical that we all do this, not just a handful of people. Every single solitary person on the planet can be a millionaire. Are you going to choose it? Are you going to do what's required? It's critical for our world that you do. All right, so you got to challenge yourself. You got to invest in your business. Are you investing in your business? Are you just trying to make do and squeezing the money? You know what's so funny is I was going to read this list. This is what the list out there says that you have to do to become a $1 million business owner. Start saving early, avoid unnecessary spending and debt, save 15% of your income, make more money, don't give into a lifestyle inflation, and get help if you need it. That is the most generic list in my world. You have to do way more than that. And it starts with you and what's going on within you. You've got to invest in your business, and you've got to invest in yourself. Remember, if you don't grow, your business isn't going to grow. You need to get financially smart and savvy. You've got to know where your money is every single day. You've got to be on top of your books, and you've got to learn about investing. You need to learn about investing. You need to learn about saving smart. There are a lot of things that I don't know, and I'm educating myself on these every single day. I'm looking at something else and learning. Fall in love with learning. Hire a team who has your back. Hire a team that has your back. If you don't have a team that has your back, you're not going to grow. It's a fact. And while they have your back, have their back too. Support them, really assist them, and challenge them to keep growing every single day. You want to be a leader in your business, not just a boss. Yes, I guide and I train and I teach my team members what to do, but I'm also a leader. If I expect them to do something, I show up and do it first. This is what a leader is. And a leader is someone who also champions and challenges their team. You have to be willing to step up, have the challenging conversations, and be straight with somebody. It's very important that you are a leader, not just a boss telling people what to do. Nobody's going to want to champion you and have your back if that's all you're doing all the time. You've heard this one before. Be willing to fail. Are you willing to fail? Are you willing to try something and try again and try again? Be willing to fail. Leave shame outside. Forget about shame. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. Choose again. Be willing to be wrong. Be willing to be wrong. Be willing to say goodbye to people that are not a match for you anymore. Be willing to say goodbye to people that are bringing you down. Sometimes people come into our lives to see what we're going to choose, to really see how much they can get from us. And sometimes those people come into our lives so that we will really step up and have our own back. And that leads me to the next thing is have your own back. Be willing to have your own back no matter what is going on. This is an important piece. Have a strategy. You have to have a strategy if you're going to grow $1 million business. You need to have a 5-year, 1-year, 6-month, monthly, weekly, and daily strategy. And you need to review the 6-month, the 1-year, and the 5-year every single solitary 6 months. You got to come back to it, revisit that strategy again and again and again. You got to be willing to change, ask for assistance, ask for referrals, and be willing to gift referrals. Be willing to gift to all the people that you know. Stop buying into competition. It is bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. There's no competition out there. The only person that you're in competition with is the person within you that's not willing to step up. That's the only person you're in competition with. Next week, our show is called How to Follow Through with When Shiny Balls Keep Popping. The last thing I want to say to you tonight is I want you to keep trying and try and try and don't stop, and then do and do and do and keep going, and maybe take a rest and then do and do and do again. Inspire yourself. challenge yourself, love yourself through it all, and be willing to keep growing. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I am so happy you were here tonight. This show was on fire for me, and I hope it was on fire for all of you. Until next week, I want you to remember that you can always make another choice, and you can start $1 million business any day at any age.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.